I sure hope there weren't any mistakes in that episode, but we'll find out when my mom, Mrs. Monica, comes in and tells us what was wrong.
Do you smell something?
No. Why do you
My
smell
apartment
something?
smells.
What's happening differently here?
Oh, interesting. What do you think it is? There is something different.
I don't know.
Do you like it?
Yeah, you look great. But I don't know if you just you were at a photo shoot beforehand.
Oh, no.
What?
Good job, Rob. Got it.
What'd he say?
Eye makeup.
Is that what it is?
I'm
It's
wearing-
the lower eyeshadow?
I'm wearing eyeliner.
This is a Dingles.
Really good job, Rob.
I was looking specifically at the darkness there and wondering, is that all that's happening?
Okay.
But a major Dingles, because last night I hosted, Charlie and I tried to do old movie night for his kids and my kids. And then Charlie's so much younger than me. He hasn't seen a lot of classics.
Sure.
He hadn't seen Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Okay.
Last
Neither
night-
have I.
Last night was Pirates of the Caribbean, the original. We were watching it, and Captain Jack Sparrow is so fantastic in it. And he looks so sexy with eyeliner.
He
And
does.
it's more than that. It's like smudged all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
And I said out loud to Charlie, I'm like, God, I wish that was a more acceptable look for guys. I would love to have that look.
Why don't you try it? I think we should try it first with brown eyeliner on you. I think black is going to look really... Let's work our way up.
Okay, we'll go in steps. But I definitely had it for Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. Okay, now walk me through why now eyeliner at this late stage.
I posted a picture of my mom and I on Mother's Day.
Uh-huh.
Did you see it?
No.
Rob, do you want to put it up?
Yes.
Okay,
Let's
great.
see if I can-
I gave Rob something else to put up too. This is going to be very visual heavy.
You better go to that YouTube.
Yeah, I guess I read a lot of people went to see the haircut, which delighted me.
Of course.
Yeah.
My mom is wearing eye makeup. She's wearing under eye makeup in it or whatever. She's wearing eyeliner.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it looks so nice. And I used to wear it.
Yeah.
And I decided to.
When did it stop?
Oh, well, also the majority, I would say like 99.99% of the comments on that picture
Yes.
are about how I look exactly like her.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
I take it as a major compliment.
Are you wearing eyeliner, baby Monica, in this photo?
No.
Okay. Look
not.
at the size of your eyeballs relative. That's like Vinny. You got a similar ratio.
Oh, that's
Impossible.
the dream to look like Vinny.
Yeah, your head is only like 3x your eyeball size, which is unique.
But her eyes are very big too.
They're huge and banging. Yeah.
Yeah. And so
Big
anyway,
eggs. That's how you can tell someone has big eggs.
okay, the size of their eyes.
yeah. They're correlated.
Anyway, so she is wearing eyeliner, if you can see, under
Yeah.
her eyes. And I thought it looked really pretty. And so I wanted to bring it back.
I think she looks like Alana Glazer too.
What? That feels
What?
That feels left field to me, but
It does?
mhm.
Yeah. Well, she looks so cute. We
Yeah,
love
she does
Normie.
she does look so cute. My dad
And you look
I'm
like a little guy, like a little boy. She got a little boy.
Okay. Nobody wants to hear that. God, your compliments have gotten so bad.
I have some photos of me I'll share with me carrying, I carried a purse for like 2 years. And so I'll get you some of those and you can go, oh, what a beautiful little girl.
I'm not gonna.
Okay.
Okay? I wouldn't say that. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings all the time.
Anyways, very cute pic.
Anyway, so that's what the eyeliner is about.
Because you saw your mom in it and you're like, well, why aren't I
And I
wearing
thought it looked pretty. And since
Yeah.
we look the same, I was like, oh yeah, I should start doing that again.
Right.
Okay. I have a few things to talk about. That
I
are
know.
really important.
We're in this situation where I know you have a story for the last 2 days, but we were waiting for the fact check.
Yeah.
Which I guess that's not a complaint. That's fun. I have something to look forward to.
Yeah.
But it is crazy to know you're like, you know what? I'll just wait. And then I'm like, oh God, I can't
the
hear.
anticipation.
The anticipation just also, it's so foreign for someone to say, I have this great thing and you have plenty of time. And then you go, but I'm not going to tell you for 2
And you
days.
just sit in silence and don't say it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
You went back to Atlanta. Is it involving
Yes,
that?
but before I get into my story, I just wanted to remind if people have missed the Mo episode
Yeah.
because they didn't know who he was,
Mm-hmm.
high recommend to go back and listen to that. It's a really good episode. Kate Mara voice messaged me today. And
She did.
And
I just saw her in Friendship.
Oh, I'm dying to see it. I want to see it this weekend. Is it great?
It's great. It's crazy. I mean, it really. Did you see it, Rob?
Yeah, I went to the Vista and saw it.
By the way, go to the Vista.
That's what she said.
We went on a Saturday. I saw Sam Richardson.
Oh, fun.
I actually felt like, oh my God, I live in a neighborhood with a neighborhood theater and I actually know people. Like, it was a very heartwarming experience. And the Vista was sold out on a Saturday afternoon.
That's awesome.
And Tarantino did a fucking awesome job with like the popcorn stand. Everything's retro. So it's like the old
Did
cartoon.
you go to Pam's Coffee?
Nope. Just to the movie, but the popcorn, Nathan's hot dogs, the way the signage is very nostalgic. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's an insane movie, and it really tests how much you can fuck with the historic role of a protagonist, like in Aristotle's Laws of Story, because it's Tim.
Yeah, Tim Robinson, and he's being very Tim Robinson. He's going berserk. Yeah.
And you kind of want everyone in his life to just get rid of him because but he's your hero. So it's like this. Right, Rob?
Yeah. He's insane.
Yeah. And some of the biggest laughs in a theater that I've heard.
Oh, I cannot wait. I can't wait to see it.
And Paul Rudd is just what a champion for taking that role and leaning into all of his Paul Ruddness in a great way.
I love him.
Love him.
Kate messaged me that she was listening to the Mo episode and that she loved it and that it was really beautiful. And she didn't know him before, and now she's going to watch the show.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, most of the comments are people saying I wasn't aware of him. This is one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah. Great. So check it out if you haven't seen that or listened to that. Okay.
Or seen it. You can say that now.
Or seen it or listened. Another thing before my story.
Yeah.
2 things.
Oh my God, so much foreplay. Ding, ding, ding. Easter egg.
Easter Eggs-pert.
Eggs-pert.
That's what I said. Easter Eggs-pert.
Easter Eggs-pert. Okay.
Wow.
But wait, why is Easter in there?
Because it's an Easter egg.
Oh, right.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay.
Easter Expert. That's perfect. It just took me a while to compute.
Yeah. Okay. This morning I was on Instagram and I saw Mandy Moore had she posted something, and it was when she was young, and it reminded me of the Punked episode
where she destroyed my house.
Yes, and I had to watch it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it got in my head.
And it was on YouTube?
Yes, and I watched it this morning, and it is so funny. It is so funny.
That's the only one I ever broke in. I think I told you that.
When did you break?
I don't think I was prepared for the level of devastation that occurred. They dropped this fucking steel I-beam on this mobile home, and it flattens it like a pancake. And I'm watching it, looking at it, and the cameras, and then I have to turn and act like I'm like emotional, and I am laughing. I'm like,
you're laughing.
I'm like worried I'm not gonna be able to, because I love when stuff breaks, like when a car drives through a window or something. That's my specific trigger. Yeah, and I had to turn around for a minute and like regroup.
Oh, is that when you said I have to go see what the damage is?
No, I think I had gotten it together by then. What an
fun.
Insane bit that was.
It's really fun for me to see you before I knew you.
Oh, tell me how.
God, I guess this might sound like one of your compliments.
Oh, great.
One of your horrible compliments. Because I know you so well.
Yeah.
I think sometimes I forget the obvious things about you.
Like
when I'm watching it, I was like, God, he's so funny.
Oh, wow. Thank you. That's a great compliment. I didn't see that coming.
But I know that about you. Obviously, you're funny every day.
But you forget like I was a comedian at one point.
I don't know. I was just like, oh yeah. Dax is so funny.
Oh, well, thank you.
And really good.
Maybe stop there because that's great. I could float on that. Okay.
I want to ruin it. And like same if I watch Parenthood, I'm like, oh yeah, he's so good.
Oh, thank you.
But then when we're here and I'm like, annoyed by you because you're doing like
I'm your brother and your father.
Exactly. Then it's like a weird dissonance. I kind of don't think of that person as the person I know.
as again, I have a couple friendships where I juggle both things.
Mhm.
I juggle what I feel about them on screen and then the reality of them in person as a friend.
Right. But even now, if I see you on screen now, ever since I've known you,
There's no magic, right? It's like just disillusion.
I mean, I could still see objectively like, oh, that's funny or oh, that's good. But it's not the same.
I totally get it.
It's weird.
Yeah, I can imagine even if I turned in a performance that was funnier than Frito or the grocery store movie I did, whatever that was called. Employee of the Month.
Yeah.
Which for my money, I think is the best I ever did. If I did something that was like we could measure it was the same, it just wouldn't tickle you because you sit on the couch with me.
I think it would tickle. I would have different feelings about
right.
it. I would have more like, oh, like my friend did a good job feeling.
Right.
As opposed to like, just blind, like, oh, that's so funny.
You can click into me being a stranger, basically.
Yeah.
Yes. That makes sense.
Yeah. And I always have this weird, like, it ended and I was like, I can't believe that's him. Like, I can't believe I know that person the way I do. Life is weird.
Yeah.
Because I watched Punk'd.
Right.
So
but that was a completely different life ago, right?
Yes. It's so strange.
Yeah.
Life is strange.
Yeah, it feels like a different life ago. Even like what I do now, it's almost as if I am now a roofer and I used to be a car mechanic. Like there's something.
Yeah. You changed industries, sort of.
Well, definitely in that like the goals are so different.
Yes.
The goals on Punk'd were like be as funny as reality will permit and find the line and we'll try your hardest to be right there.
Right.
And that was just such a specific mindset. And then that's not what the mindset is in here. For now, which is crazy. We're going on. Well, we've already passed my longest job ever.
Yeah.
And there'll be a point where, I'll have done this as long as I acted, which is a crazy thought to me.
Yeah. And does that make you feel good or bad or does it matter?
Well, good in that, fun. I got to experience so many things.
Yeah.
Bad in that, well, this last 10 years was much quicker than the formative 10 years, right? Like Punk'd to like 2003 to 2013, Punk'd to end of parenthood to me, feels very long.
Right.
This show feels like we've been doing it for 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that part's alarming.
Right.
Yeah. But I did have a dream last night that I was acting in something.
Oh.
Yeah. It's kind of like my relapse dreams. Did I tell you? My relapse dreams are always the same. I'm out of town and I'm drinking a few beers.
Uh-huh.
And I remember, I always drink a few beers when I'm out of town and it always works.
Mm.
And then when I wake up, I literally have to go like, you never drank in a few beers when you're out of town. No, I haven't. And then similarly last night, I was like, taking a role and we still have this. So it was like I was having to juggle both things. But then I had been doing that for a long time.
Weird. Life is curvy and swervy.
It is. It's got curves and swerves.
And I wonder, I don't know. Who knows how long we'll be doing this?
Right. Unknowable.
But I think what's weird for me is sometimes I wonder like, this potentially is your acting. Like this is my first life.
Yes, of course.
And there might be for me, not likely, there will be another thing after this.
Exactly. So imagine fast forward 12 years to my age and you've now been doing something longer than you ever did the podcast.
Yeah, I know. But
it feels like a third of the time. It's just very confusing.
Yeah, weird. Anyway, it was really funny. If you want to check that out, it's on YouTube. While you're on YouTube, go ahead and head over to the Armchair Expert.
And subscribe. We've never asked anyone to subscribe. I've always been really adverse to asking that. But
go ahead and subscribe.
Yeah, go fucking subscribe, even if you're never going to watch it.
Well, you should watch it. I guess I've just been taking in a lot of you on accident.
Oh, so sorry.
Because, I've been down a Malcolm Gladwell rabbit hole.
Yeah, just for fun.
Because I
remembered how great the show is.
Yes, after I listened to the Joe Rogan one and then the RFK one, was like, fuck, this show's so good. I forgot.
Mhm.
And I thought, oh, I'm sure I've missed a lot of these episodes. So I should go back and look at some. And he did a bunch before Revenge of the Tipping Point or during that time. We had him on for that show. So I don't think I was paying much attention to revisionist history then. But I was like, oh, I'll check this out. And there's one, I just have to really, really commend him. And actually, one's a ding, 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 because it's about him basically saying there's a section in the Tipping Point about the broken windows theory, which comes up in an upcoming episode for us, which is funny.
Yeah.
And he comes on and he says, I was wrong about that. He straight up says, I was wrong. This is why. And it is so interesting to hear someone just come out and be like, this thing that got a ton of traction for him
Yeah.
is wrong.
Because it extended into stop and frisk.
Yeah, but it now looking at it over time, crime went down after stop and frisk was taken away. And all these people, Giuliani, Trump, they use the phrase, right? They use broken windows.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's not why, but they use it as a scare tactic. He said, I believed it.
Yeah.
And now I know it's not true. And it was really funny. You know, he plays this clip from Giuliani and then he plays a clip of Trump saying it. And he says, sometimes I stay up at 3 a.m. and I think, oh God, did he read The Tipping Point too? And everyone read it. And that's such a weird thing to think. Like you wrote something that everyone read and was persuaded by. The pressure. That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. And again, you can't really consider that when you're writing.
Yeah, you can't, but it's just wild. Anyway, so then he has a couple episodes on the Varsity Blues, the kids who, parents who paid for their kids to go to Ivy League universities. And you are in those episodes.
I am?
Yeah, you're a voice actor.
Oh, when they get to the
trials.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I did. Wow, that's funny. I never listened. I never listened to that. Me and Britt Martley.
Yes.
Funny because I listened to when we redid the Little Mermaid. But I didn't listen to that. That's crazy.
It was so weird because I was just like listening to these episodes and all of a sudden he's like, and to play blah, 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 these, lawyers, he's like, my voice actors, Britt Marling and Dax Shepard. And I was like, well, oh my God, what is going on?
Infiltration.
Yeah, full infiltration.
And then you go into your bathroom and I go, hi.
You talk to me through my speaker. Anyway, so that was great.
I'll try to keep it coming. I'll try to do
You're
some
just
more.
popping up all over
more
the
surprises.
place.
I got to get on a makeup tutorial. I got to get on a fashion podcast.
Yeah, you do. Oh
I got to get on Elizabeth and Andy.
Exactly.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Now I have a story.
Okay.
I was home to visit my mom for Mother's Day, and I heard the craziest story. And I was like, maybe I shouldn't bring it up because it's like it is sort of political, but it's wild. And I feel like I have to share it. My friend's sister lives in pretty rural Georgia. And she has a kid in preschool because the public schools really aren't very good. What's like the PC term for that? Whatever. They're not good.
Underperforming?
Yeah, I guess so. She sends her kid to a private school in rural Georgia, and it's pre-K through 12.
Okay.
So for I don't know if it was Halloween or something, they threw this like big assembly event, and each grade had to dress up as a theme. And so the pre-K was like, superheroes and princesses or whatever.
Yeah.
Standard theme. And then one of the themes for like a youngish grade, look to me like third grade, I saw pictures of this, was Hurricane Helene. That was the theme.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is
like, what do you play? Wind, broken house?
Exactly. So some people were like the hurricane.
God, that's a They got fucked.
What one girl was a FEMA check.
Okay.
And
I mean, that's on story.
But why do Hurricane Helene? I mean,
yeah, why? Oh, because, well, if they were in Northeast Georgia, I know that
it ravaged
Asheville's very close to there, and it got submerged underwater.
It ravaged Augusta.
Right.
But that's also why it's weird, right? Like
if we did the fires.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like it impacted that area.
Okay, one more chance at generosity here.
Go ahead.
Remember I was saying the time 100, like first 40 are so easy. Oh yeah, that person who dodged a bullet, that actor. The last 15, you're like, he had a great golf swing. You don't even.
Sure.
So 12th grade, maybe they just got to third grade last, and they're like, we have used every category.
Well, you haven't heard the knockout punch here.
Okay.
There's another grade. The theme was the Trump assassination. And this is real.
This is almost impossible to believe.
Exactly. And
forget politics, just like
exactly
the assassination of anybody.
I know.
Yeah.
And all these boys are dressed up as like Secret Service. And then there's one boy dressed up as Trump. And he has the full mask. He's like wearing a mask, a Trump mask, and like, his ears all bandaged up. And then there's like, kids, 5th grade-ish looking kids in MAGA hats. And it was like, oh yeah. And also what my friend, she was like, this is how it happens. Like if you have any questions about like if you're like, living in California and you're like, I just don't get it. This is how.
Yeah.
It starts so young.
Yes.
Like, isn't that wild?
It is wild. And I don't know why this is my compulsion. I don't want you to be mad at me.
And I know I don't want to get mad at you, and I don't want it, and it's fine if it's your compulsion. But my friends who are also like my friends who were shocked by this, right?
Yeah.
They're Georgia people. They're not what you would say
coastal city elites.
Exactly. And they're like, there's no way that's real.
So I think that's very extreme.
Yeah.
And I think it's bonkers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they are in rural Georgia hearing about a real case here in LA where a child identified as a cat and they put a litter box in the bathroom.
Okay.
So I only say that to just say, if we focus on the crazy ones, like they're on both sides and neither are really that representative.
But no school here is doing dress up like pretend you're a cat day.
No, but they're putting a litter box in the bathroom. That's truly craziness.
That's one story you heard, right? Like that's not a sweeping thing. Right. This person is our president.
Yeah.
He was elected.
Like, no, I'm only talking about the school's decision. I'm hoping that's as rare as the litter box in the bathroom. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is I'm just my optimistic self is hoping that is rare.
I don't know.
I mean,
it's a private school.
Right.
So
here's what I would hate is someone hears the litter box story, right? They're in Georgia. These fucking California schools. And I just would go like, well, hey, just my kid's school isn't like that at all. And it's public.
Sure.
But
that is part of why like a public school isn't able to do things like that.
Go that crazy.
Yeah. And then I was thinking like, if I lived there,
right?
What would I do? These are the options. A very underperforming public school or this. Like, this is a bad situation for people making decisions.
You'd probably have to live somewhere different, which is like the Sedaris thing. It's like, if you're gay in a small town, go to the city.
But you might not have the money. Like, I mean, there's just a lot of factors here that make it for me, like, I understand this is hard.
You can live low income in all states.
Yeah.
Right? You could be up in Oregon or Eastern Washington. There's equivalencies in liberal states if that was your desire. Was the parent, they were like, what the fuck's
mortified.
going on? Yeah. And what did their kid have to dress as?
Like Superman or something.
Oh, okay, great.
Thank God.
They shouldn't eat. Okay.
But that's what I was like, now this kid is in a like, let's say this kid was of age of one of these horrible themes, right?
Yeah.
And his mom, my friend's sister, is like, no, you're probably not going to dress up as a FEMA check, you know? Then he might be like, well, I'll be an outcast. Like, this is so...
The pressure.
Yes. It's upsetting.
It is.
Because I know
and an opportunity. Like my mom would say to me, what do you think of all these kids calling each other fags on the playground?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think it's like to be gay and hear that?
Yeah.
What do you think it's, like my school's all Christian. We didn't go to church on Sunday and other people did, like, well, it's also not bad to be an outcast.
Yeah.
And it's a character builder. And if your parents are engaging you on it, then that's an opportunity.
Guess you're right. It's just hard. It's hard to be an outcast. It's really hard. I went to church with my friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, Can
I share one thing? It's actually weirdly related to your story.
Yeah.
Rob, will you put up the thing I sent you? I just stumbled upon this. This is Quirky Maps, I guess, is the source. I follow a few different infograph accounts on Instagram, and they're so fun. Now, this is a countrywide breakdown of largest employers by state.
Huh, interesting.
And what's undeniable about this map is you can quite clearly see the states where Walmart's the number one employer is almost universally a red state. And then, lo and behold, the states where the university's the number one employer, which is several, they're all, without exception, also blue. They vote blue.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Of all the employers, really, there's just 3 categories, really 4. There's either you work for Walmart, you work for a healthcare, like a hospital system, or a university system. And there are only 2 that are like manufacturing. Michigan, General Motors is the largest employer, and then Boeing in Washington. But I just thought this was a very informative interest. Like in Colorado, the largest employer is the Denver International Airport.
That's really wild.
Yeah, like MGM Resorts makes sense in Nevada.
Uh-huh.
But just all these university systems, that's pretty fascinating.
Well, but North Carolina is the university system.
And North Carolina
it's purple.
It is far more liberal than the surrounding states.
Yeah.
And it does make sense for like your bread and butter, right? Like people are pretty loyal to their bread and butter.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, ours is kind of a fascinating.
Ours is the university system.
Yeah,
UCLA or UC, I guess.
The UC system.
Yeah.
New York is the university. It's like you talk about the elites and the coastal. It's like, oh yeah, there's pretty obvious reason.
A lot of it's healthcare.
Yes, 16. So 21 states, the largest employer is Walmart. 16 states, the healthcare is the largest. 8 for education and 5 for others, of which there's really no
21 states, Walmart is the largest employer. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyways, I guess
That's
find Quirky Maps. I liked that.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. Okay, facts?
We're going to transition into facts now.
Okay, great.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
Okay, Michelle, facts. Larry Mantle.
Oh, great.
Mm-hmm.
He deserves this.
He is a man.
Toll.
Okay, Larry Mantle is an American radio talk show host and journalist on the Southern California NPR station LAist. LAist?
LAist?
Mantle hosts Air Talk with Larry Mantle, which is the longest running daily talk show currently on Los Angeles radio.
Air Talk. That's the show Kristen's obsessed with.
Okay.
Air Talk. Yeah.
There's a picture of him we have up here. He's 66.
Mm-hmm.
He was born here in LA.
He has a great origin story. I want to say like he applied at NPR and he didn't get it. And then he went to another station and he started and he was so good. Then they brought him in. There's some kind of fun.
Let me read you.
Oh, you know? Let me just shave the sides.
No.
Okay, go ahead. Impulse control issues. They say it's part of ADHD.
Did it get
I got a
some?
little bit, but that's okay.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. While in graduate school, Mantle was living in Pasadena and listened to NPR's All Things Considered on KPCC. He knew that KPCC also produced a daily 1-hour local news program and used community volunteers and Pasadena City College students to supplement a small professional staff. Mantle started volunteering at KPCC and was soon anchoring newscasts and providing play-by-play of college and high sports carried by the station. Later, Mantle became the first local morning edition host for KPCC. After briefly working for CBS News Talk affiliate, KPR Riverside, Mantle returned to KPCC as news director in 1983. 2 years later, he launched Air Talk with the intention of combining listener calls from an analytic and news-savvy audience with local experts and newsmakers. That's all it says.
Yeah.
It doesn't say that he struggled.
Okay. Sounds like a rocket ship ride of success because of his enormous talent.
Yeah, it's true. He has a son.
That's a long time. Did you say 1983?
He returned as the news director for KPCC in 1983, 2 years later. So 85.
Okay, so 40-year anniversary for him.
Wow, that's cool.
Dude, congrats.
Very big congrats. Okay, she said it was a tough day for NPR. That was Friday, a couple Fridays ago, I guess. He had the day before Trump had issued an executive order directing the Corporation for PBS, Public Broadcasting's Board of Directors, to cease federal funding for NPR and PBS.
Yeah, so let me just say, I hate this. This is fucking ridiculous. But I will say I was a little comforted when I read, not PBS, I think that one's really largely federally funded, but NPR is only getting, I want to say the number I wrote was like 2% from federal funding. So I am a little relieved that potentially they can survive that.
Yeah, hopefully.
Is much of a ridiculous.
Hopefully people.
Like, what do we spend money, the shit we spend money on? It's like, let's trim out all this stuff that's so low impact.
I know.
Doesn't move the needle at all. And we lose all of our favorite things from the public funding.
Yeah, I know. And we also
Sesame Street and
Exactly.
every.
Yeah, and it's making sure that media stays divisive and private.
Yeah.
And that's like the opposite of what we need right now.
I mean, I do my best to give the argument a fair shot, right? There are many left-leaning media outlets and there's right-leaning media outlets. PBS is not. Like when they have the election and they do a 2-hour thing on Hillary and they do a 2-hour thing on Trump, they are equally hard-hitting.
Yeah, I know.
But I was trying to think, is NPR left-leaning? Maybe.
But is it left-leaning because people on the left are listening? Like, that's not a fair assessment of it.
I guess, though, his point would be if all of Americans are funding it and half of Americans are conservative and half are liberal, it's not fair that the output is leaning left. That's a fair critique. Now, cut it entirely or try to correct that is two different arguments.
But is it left-leaning because it's telling the truth? There's some truths that are happening right now that maybe Republicans would say are left-leaning, but they're the truth.
No, I more mean like if they're going to do, KCRW is going to do a story on Unhoused. Is it going to be the liberal version of Unhoused or is it going to be the conservative version? And I do think probably more often it is the liberal point of view.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know about what they...
I know I listen to NPR and I like it, so I'm inclined to think it probably is a bit more left. I guess that's my gut intuition about it.
But again, is it what you're attracted to is that it's true facts being told?
Well, like I'm pro-gay marriage, so when that was all being talked about, everything I'm hearing on there is the experts talking about the reality of that situation. But I'm pro that union, right? They're not going to give 30 minutes to a Christian saying that God says this is wrong. They're not going to do that on NPR.
Are they?
But your argument might be that shouldn't you're right. And that shouldn't get 30 minutes on NPR. But I guess if it is federally funded and it has to be reflective of all the people that are paying for it, then maybe it does. I don't know.
My guess is, maybe I just don't know, but I assume they do cover both sides. Like, I think the Daily, often you hear the other point of views. They will interview people who are on both sides, so you can hear what everyone is thinking.
Well, now the Daily, I don't know if you listen to it, but I really encourage you to listen to it. These two professors at Princeton wrote a book, which is they have analyzed now for 4 years the COVID response. And they take all this World Health Organization had just done a study on social distancing for an airborne viral congestive virus. And they concluded it doesn't work. It has no impact. And so their point is, and these are liberal Princeton professors, they're like, where was the New York Times saying, what about this article? Like the left did a bad job of being pushing hard and pressure testing the things we were being told. And there's now a lot of evidence of that.
But you can't do it until you're in it and after.
Well, no, because this report that had been funded by the WHO, it existed. It existed. Anyone who wanted to look would have found that they just ran this study and that it was recommended
Based on
that
what,
wouldn't
though?
work.
What pandemic?
On a airborne virus.
But that affected this level. It couldn't have.
You'll hear them. I want to get them on. I think when you hear it, you'll be very convinced, as I was. Like, oh, wow. Normally, we would have heard this counter argument to what was being proposed. It's how the Fourth Estate works. And what these two professors are saying is like, there was an institutional breakdown. And we need to come to terms with that, and we need to prevent that from happening again. And one of the people and now the Daily's brave enough to now run it in 2025, but the Daily would have never touched that WHO study during the pandemic, which they just should have. They really should have. And we'll have the experts on, and I think you'll agree. And there were many, it got so politicized, the whole event. And I'm not defending the right. The right stance was fucking ridiculous on it, right? But there was a big breakdown, and you have to ask then why. And I think part of the explanation, as do these people, is like every journalistic output became so politicized. They're either left or right. We need PBS, we need NPR, we need ones that are not servicing the market.
Right.
And,
That's what I said. Anyway, that had just happened the day before, so that's why she said that. Now, Leonardo DiCaprio and his T-Rex.
Oh, right. It's good. We need a good reminder of what's going on here.
Yeah, it says he doesn't own a T-Rex. He has an interest in dinosaur fossils and has purchased several, including a Mosasaurus skull and an Allosaurus skull. But he is not known to own a complete T-Rex skeleton or fossil, according to many sources.
Damn it. Why am I perpetuating that?
I don't know. We want it to be true. I'm sure he wants it.
Yeah. I hope he's not offended. Like, if anything I could get wrong about him, the fact that I think he's got a really cool T-Rex skeleton, I hope doesn't offend him.
I hope not either.
I'd sure love to interview him.
Okay, the apex. She mentioned the apex. That's, I guess, the new dinosaur discovered. The Stegosaurus dinosaur fossil that is considered one of the largest and most complete of its species ever found. It was discovered in Colorado, and it's at the American Museum of Natural History.
Look at that.
Wow, that's so cool.
Those plates are enormous on the back.
Yeah, they are.
That's virtually what I was looking at installing on top of our gates.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We're always just trying to replicate what nature already figured out.
Yeah. Ooh, imagine getting spiked with one of those.
Yeah. But it's so clever because they get attacked from behind.
Yep.
Good luck.
Good luck. It's so hard for my brain to integrate that that's real. That those things really walked this earth.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And like, what will be here? What will be here?
In a billion years?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Malcolm said on this episode of Revisionist History, the Joe Rogan one that we talked about, he said about his dad in the interview he did with Michael Gervais. He said something very sweet about understanding his dad more in death than now. And I wanted to find that clip. Oh yeah, I'll go back.
To not to participate in that spirit. Well, I'm getting a little emotional talking. Yeah. I'm in danger. When I talk about my father, I start crying. So yeah. What is that about? I don't know. He was. I'm sorry.
God, I love him.
I'd encourage you to open it wide open. There I was, on stage in front of hundreds of people, perfectly happy. Then my dad came up, and all of a sudden I became overwhelmed. And I was embarrassed. It wasn't what I intended. I wasn't there to bare my soul. Didn't I just say 10 seconds before that the Gladwells are not emotional people? I want to move on, but Gervais won't let me. So off we go in an entirely new direction. I do cry every time. He's been gone 5 years. And a friend of mine said, two friends of mine said two very beautiful things that I've always remembered. One was a friend of mine who was writing something about his father, and he said, "My father died 20 years ago today. I know him better today than I did back then." And
That's the part.
I think about that nearly every day. And
So sweet. So sweet.
It is so sweet. You know, hearing that makes something for me makes so much more sense, which is Malcolm one time randomly sent me a text that said, "I stumbled upon the thing you wrote about your dad.
Yeah.
And I didn't know you were such a great writer."
Oh, that's nice.
And it just made me like sore.
Yeah.
And I thought, how on earth did he stumble upon that? But it's interesting because he's talking about a friend who wrote about his father who's dead. And this definitely happened within the time that his dad had died.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And it's conceivable that like he was
on the search
reading
for
that stuff.
Yeah. Sweet Malcolm.
God, hearing him like that is so endearing.
It really is.
Oh,
We love him so
we do.
much.
He's so special.
We really love him so much. But that is such a beautiful sentiment that you can keep knowing people past their
And that
time
the
here.
grieving is how you keep someone alive is also
yeah.
sweet.
That's it.
That's it. God. All right. Love you.
Love you.